every blessing we receive from God comes from his faithfulness. Comes from his faithfulness. And so what do we mean when we say God is faithful? First, we mean that God does not change. God does not change. It may seem like a very ordinary statement or observation, but it's a very powerful statement that God does not change. Why does God not change? Because God never grows and never improves. God never grows and never improves. Why do human beings change? Because we grow and we improve. So what I said when I was 6 years old, when I grow and I improve, I will not say the same thing. So if at 6 years old I say, when I grow up, I will be a carpenter. A carpenter, a carpenter, a carpenter I will be. I may sing that when I'm 6 years old, but when I grow up, I will not be a carpenter. So why is it that I will not be what I said I will be? Because I grow. I would say when I was a child, that's what I thought. Now I know better. I've gone to school. I've improved. I've learned new things. I've become better. So I'm not going to be a carpenter. I'll be a pastor. What has changed? Growth and improvement. But God doesn't grow. And God doesn't improve. So there is no point in time when God will grow to the point that he will change something he said at another time. So what God said a million years ago, he will not grow a million years later and say, oh, a million years ago, I was God, but I was a young God. Now I have become an older God. I'm wiser and more mature. So I cannot do what I said a million years ago because I've grown and I have improved. God doesn't go through that. God is the same. He doesn't change. What he said a million years ago is still relevant today because God does not change. For us as human beings, it's very difficult for us to imagine anything that does not change because change is the constant of our experience. But to God, not changing is the constant. So what he said yesterday, what he said to your father, he will not improve and outgrow it. He would always do what he said he would do because he doesn't change, he doesn't grow, and he doesn't improve. God doesn't get better. The God we have now is not a better version of the God Noah worshipped. He's the same God, the ungrowing, the unimproving God, who is who he is at all times, the same. God does not change. And because he does not change, he is reliable. That's why we can rely on him. To be reliable is to be trustworthy. It means I can build on him. I can establish on him. I can lay my foundation in him because he doesn't change. No, it's very interesting that when you consider our earth is a very, very, very changing earth. We know that. The earth moves very, very fast. It's said that the earth moves at the speed of 1,700 kilometers per hour. On its axis. This thing is going very fast. 1,700 kilometers. That's a very, very fast speed. And not only that, whilst it is doing that, it is moving at 27 kilometers per second around the sun to give us a year. So for us to say next year it will be better, the sun has to run at 27 kilometers per second to give you next year. At this pace of 1,700 kilometers per hour on its own axis, 27 kilometers per second around the sun, we consider the earth solid enough to build on it. We build skyscrapers on it, something that is moving at this pace, and yet we find it difficult to build on a God who doesn't change, who doesn't improve, who doesn't get better. If you can build a house on this earth, you have no excuse not to have foundation in God. God is faithful. Why? Because he's there. He's called the Ancient of Days. He doesn't improve, doesn't get better. If we live for another 1 billion years, God will not be a different God. He'll still be the same. From eternity to eternity, he's still the same. God is faithful.